Hi, and welcome back to the channel. If you are actually new here, I'm the Moonchild Medium, and I'm going to be doing today a collective reading for Taurus signs. That's going to be anyone who has a Taurus sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Now, you don't have to know your moon, rising, or Venus. If all you know is your sun, that's fine. If you're just here because it just called to you, it resonated with you, and the reading seems to fit, then welcome. If this reading does not resonate with you, definitely go check out the other readings, since I'm doing readings that are supposed to resonate with sun, moon, rising, and Venus. Okay? Don't try to make anything fit that doesn't. Don't try to force anything. If this reading does not make it to you, or if it doesn't resonate with you, there will be others in the future. I'm going to be doing more of these. It's just kind of a chaotic time, and so I like to hop on here when it's like really chaotic out there, give you guys a little bit of grounding energy. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Just shuffling some of these decks. Ooh. Yeah, a lot of chaos. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the Modern Witch Tarot. Let's get some messages about what is going on in Taurus's present reality. Okay, we've got the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, that's so interesting. Okay, because this one means a big triumph. You just had a big win, and then this one also means that you have just had a big loss, but this feels like a positive thing. It's like you're feeling like you're winning because of something that you gave up. And I feel like other people might feel like it's a loss when they're looking at you, but you're like, no, this actually feels better than it did before, so I'm happy with this. Yep, at the bottom of the deck we have the Seven of Swords. Definitely leaving something behind, something that did not serve you, something that was not for your highest good. Okay, Spirit, what did Taurus leave behind? What gave them this huge win, this triumph? We've got the Great Bear in reverse. Okay, so this is the Judgment card. It's hard to tell with this deck, but I believe this is the Judgment card in reverse. So you release judgment. I think in many ways this was self-judgment. Seven of Wands. Clearance. Yeah, you cleared away things that didn't serve you. Self-judgment. Five of Bows, like Five of Wands. Empowerment. You cleared away things that were disempowering to you. Six of Stones, which is Six of Pentacles. Exploitation. I feel like you're actually exploiting something in a good way right now. You're exploiting an opportunity. You're getting the most out of an opportunity. This is something that feels like it's coming to you after you release something that was very disempowering to you. That self-judgment. At the bottom of the deck, we have Three of Bows, which is the Three of Wands, talking about fulfillment. So there was something that was very unfulfilling to you, and you may have actually had a hard time letting this go before, but you've recently done something. You've recently done something that has released this judgment, this self-judgment, this disempowerment. What was this disempowerment? What were you believing about yourself? Yeah, it's like a negative belief or like a lack mindset that you had. What is this disempowerment? Six of Wands. It has something to do with when you win, you would not actually speak highly enough about yourself. You might have spoken down to yourself. And I feel like this is because this is the way that other people conditioned you to be. Knight of Cups. In reverse. So it's like your emotions were really slowing you down. Getting in the way, like a lot of negative self-talk. Eight of Cups. You also might have had like some sort of jealousy. Like you would look at what other people had and kind of like feel defeated immediately when you saw other people. When you saw that other people had already achieved things that you were just getting started on. And then we've got the Strength card, which speaks for itself. I feel like you've just been coming into your strength, your power. We've got the Devil. So there's like definitely something, like it's like something that feels like it's been caging you. And that you've been releasing yourself from. Explain this Devil card for me, please. Okay, explaining the Devil, we have the Four of Bows, Celebration, which is Four of Wands. And then we've also got the Archer, number 7. There's actually Sagittarius energy in that, like very, very heavily. So the Archer speaks to, it's like the Chariot, which is all about fast movement, momentum. There's also, in the Archer card, there is that bow, which we see 4 of here. This is the 4 of Bows. 4 for that celebration. 4 of Wands is usually about happy home life, happy family, just like a lot of reasons to celebrate. And the Archer is about actually not just quick, like forward momentum, but it's also about like gaining mastery over the mind. And it's also associated with the number 7, which is very heavily about intuition, and also about closing out cycles. So I feel like you have just closed out a cycle, and this is causing big celebration for you. I feel like you've freed more than just yourself. You have freed your family line. There's a lot of like generational healing in this, the healing of like curses. Let's get a little bit of advice. Since it feels like you have overcome something really big by releasing something. It's like something that was kind of like a legacy of your family's for a long time. So it at one point even felt like it was a source of pride, maybe for you and your family, or at least for your family. And like, there was like this feeling in you that you were like, this doesn't really feel right. I don't like this. But you didn't really always feel good about that. Like, so for some of you, actually, like, it could be that your family really took pride in humility, and being humble and being quiet. Only take this as if it resonates. It could also apply to other things. So, take it with a grain of salt. But it does feel a lot like there could have been that like negative self-talk and the humility that was kind of like a source of pride for your family. It was like, we don't speak that way. We're not violent people. We're not, aggressive. And I feel like you're actually coming in and you're breaking that curse a little bit. You're changing the way that you talk to yourself and about yourself. You're seeing yourself as someone who is like, you're worthy of celebrating, and you're seeing that. And you are celebrating yourself, maybe for the first time ever, or maybe just for the first time in a long time. Maybe you used to celebrate yourself more as a child, and that was kind of like looked down upon or discouraged in some way, and you grew up with this mentality that like, if I stand out, then I am selfish or self-centered. I'm wrong in some way. And I feel like that's also what's like I'm feeling with this strength card. It's like a lot of Leo energy, very obviously. But like Leo is a sign that like wants to be out in the spotlight and actually really thrives in the spotlight. So that's where they're supposed to be. When they're not in the spotlight, then they're not living up to their fullest potential and can actually be very, very miserable. So you actually might have some prominent Leo placements or Sagittarius placements. You also might have prominent Capricorn placements from what I'm seeing here, meaning that it could, like, you could either have Leo, Capricorn, or Sagittarius in your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Doesn't have to be, but that would be extra confirmation for you if that is the case. So Spirit, what are some more confirmations and also advice about how to move forward from where they are right now? It feels like you've done something big and you're not really like confused about that thing. You're feeling very settled and happy in that decision that you made to leave that thing behind. So you may not be here thinking like, oh, I need advice about how to move forward, because you kind of just like did a really big thing and now it doesn't feel like the time to move forward. It feels more like the time to celebrate that, to sit in that energy for a while. We've got Eagle Spirit that says Spirit has your back. With the number 23, this came out in the protection mode. 23 in astrology is 2, which is a relationship number, and 3, or 2 can also be about not just like relationships with others, but like unity within the self. 3 is about growth, expansion. It's connected to like things like school, work, finances. When you put them together, 2 and 3, that makes the number 5, which is a very divine number. It is the number of spirit, of source, meaning that things are really coming together behind the scenes in your relationships, in your school education or career life, your finances. There's things that are going on behind the scenes, and I think you know that things are changing. You're kind of like you're on an upswing. Like maybe you went through a very, very low period very recently. Maybe you're still kind of going through it. But I feel this optimism in you where you understand that what you've just released has actually opened a lot of doors for you. And I think that you're a very intuitive person and you understand that Spirit is working behind the scenes for your highest good. But there could be still a little bit of anxiety about what's coming next. So this is a confirmation that Spirit does have your back, that there is a plan. So I'm going to read, since I wish I had this memorized, but I don't. I'm going to read the message from the actual book about Eagle Spirit. It says, if you are walking awkwardly and feel embarrassed, Eagle Spirit is here to tell you that is only because right now you are meant to fly. Soar over the troubles that have you feeling scared and alone. See the big picture, yet retain your eagle eye for the details that help you claim your wisdom and courage. I'm going to finish reading this in a second, but I just want to interject there because that does feel exactly like the energy of what you're going through right now. It's like there's still this like apprehension, or that it's like you've almost like come to the conclusion and like stated, I am not going to talk about myself this way anymore. I'm not going to allow other people to talk about me this way, or I'm not going to allow other people to stop me from expressing my truth, from expressing things that are important to me, or for even just talking about myself like I'm a good person and not like I'm a bad, someone who needs to be punished, or like you may have said something like that recently and then felt apprehensive, like felt like, oh, there's consequences that come from this. There are those people that always tell me that I'm not allowed to say those things. They're still going to come through and say like that I'm not allowed to say those things. And this feeling of like, am I really allowed to claim this? Am I really allowed to claim that I'm a good person, that I'm on the right path, that I don't really care about their opinions about me, or that I'm not accepting their input, their negativity? So yeah, it feels like you're in a moment where you're like still feeling those feelings, but you're also like actively trying to release that negativity, whether it's negative self-talk or just that like those limiting beliefs. Okay. Or perhaps you are making yourself small for the sake of getting others to accept you. Now is not the time to be vulnerable and dependent, for you have the wings to fly on your own, and you need to do that at this time. There is no need to huddle in a shelter or even to seek out a flock to support you. For Eagle Spirit says, you have tremendous wisdom and courage within. Let it arise so that you might soar proudly, with the angels serving as the wind beneath your wings. From these heights, you can make the best and most beautiful choices for the highest good of all. Okay, so I think that you really understand that you're coming into yourself, and you have been starting to see that you are capable of a lot more than people have been giving you credit for, and that you are that you've done a lot of work on yourself, and you're in a moment where you are feeling apprehensive about really claiming that. Okay, which is normal. Like when you're healing from trauma, when you're healing from those big things that really informed your identity, then those feelings of self-doubt can really come up, and that's normal. And if you didn't have that, then I would be a little bit worried about whether you have a pulse or not, because it's like, you remember that if you've ever seen it, I'm no longer a big Disney fan, but I did watch Rapunzel or Tangled, and there's a scene at the like when she comes out of the tower for the first time, and she's like frantically, I may have actually talked about this in another reading like a couple of years ago, because I'm having like a little bit of deja vu, but she's like frantically like running around and going like, oh my God, I'm free. And then she's like, oh, what have I done? And so it's like, she's like going back and forth between feeling like really, really happy, these really high highs, and then these really low lows where she's just worried about how her mom is going to perceive her, and how maybe she has hurt her mom. So there may have been like something where you're like either freeing yourself from codependency, or you're freeing yourself from just like the words and opinions of others, and these beliefs that other people instilled in you, and in that, like in this moment, you're kind of like going through that, like going back and forth, where you're like at sometimes having really high highs, sometimes really low lows. You're like, yes, I freed myself. And other times you're like, no, what am I doing here? I can't believe I just did that. I like can't believe I cut that person off, or I can't believe I said that thing. I can't take it back, So I feel like there's like that moment for you right now. And so you're here because you need to know that you made the right decision. Okay. You freed yourself. And in freeing yourself, you're going to free other people too. But right now is a time where you're supposed to be shining and flying and doing whatever makes you feel free and happy. Okay. Let's get some advice from the mermaids. This is my like shadow deck. Going to tell me what shadow work you still have to work on right now, because it doesn't feel so much like there's things you have to do. It's more just like you have to be. You have to be who you are. You have to allow yourself to be. You don't have to look for all of these like, what's the next step? What's the next thing I have to do? What's the next goal I have to accomplish? You've accomplished everything that you need to accomplish. Right now is not the time to try to accomplish something new. Right now it's the time to just be in your own magnificence. Just, honestly, if you want to sit in a room and stare at a wall because like that just like is healing your nervous system right now, do that. Do that. All right, we've got Atlantis with the number 19, rapid development, excellence, success. Okay. We have got sacrifice in the reverse position with the number 11. There are those worth making. There are those that will destroy you. So this is definitely a warning that now is not the time for self-sacrifice. Okay? Now is a time to be, I'm not even going to say selfish, okay? Because look, this indicates to me that you are actually somebody who came here. You're like one of those star children. You came here from a previous lifetime. Right? And you came here with a specific purpose. And your purpose was to, not just to elevate the collective, but it was to elevate us in a different way, okay? Because Atlantis, they kind of got a little bit too big for themselves. Their technology was very destructive. And nature came in, and Poseidon came in with his sirens, and they won that battle. And they took out Atlantis, and they took out the very destructive civilization that was threatening to overtake the world. We're currently in a situation in which your gifts are needed to elevate us out of this position that we're in. However, you may have been taught that sharing your gifts is meant to be an act of self-sacrifice. So it is meant to be something that drains life out of you. And I just want to tell you, if you are doing things for other people that drains the life out of you, then you are on the wrong path. Because this should be something that does not come with the kind of self-sacrifice that you have been doing for others. Okay, 11 on this card is an angel number. Also adding up to the number 2, which as we discussed is relationships. And in this case, I really do believe that it's the relationship to self. Okay. This card also comes with the number 19, which is again 1 for new beginnings. Also for creation and magic. 9 is also a number that is connected to magic, to intuition, to specifically the healer's path, the witch's path, the mother's path. So you are on that path right now. I don't want to make this reading too much longer, but I do just want to get a little bit more clarity about that path. The Woodward. So this came out in the reverse position. 11 is the Justice card. You are somebody who is very justice oriented, possibly neurodivergent, because a lot of us are very justice oriented. You're here to bring justice and balance into the world. And I think that you have actually experienced what you've experienced so far. I'm sorry that you have experienced this because it seems like it's something that is traumatic enough that it is making you call for justice. Making you call for justice right now in your life. Or it's like orienting you toward how to get justice. I think you're thinking about that a lot. And you're deciding that other people also don't need to make these same sacrifices of self. And you want to do what you can to help them. We've got the Green Man, which is the Emperor. Very masculine energy. It doesn't matter what your gender or sex is. It's more about what he's doing. He's actually accomplishing things. He's doing things. Whereas like the Empress, which is the counterpart, she more like manifests, like sits and like the way that she accomplishes things is through like more of an energetic magnetism, whereas the Green Man, actually the Emperor, creates the circumstances himself. And then we've got Six of Arrows, which is Six of Swords, and this is speaking of a transition. This is in reverse. So if you're thinking about traveling, I think that travel is not in your best interest right now. I think that you're meant to affect change on a local level. And this has to do specifically with this thing that you've just released. It has to do with specifically with this thing that you just released. So this might be, you might be doing a legal fight, or you might be somebody who's like, I'm going to study really hard and get a doctorate and write books and change people's minds about things. We've got the Four of Cups. It's something that you're not seeing right now. I think that it's something that will come to you in boredom. Knight of Wands. It's something that is, it is going to move very rapidly. And it's something that is of service. You're being of service to other people. And you might actually be of service to other people who are in a similar position to you, where they can't see their own potential. They can't see their own strength. And you're somebody who serves people in that you show them what their strength is right now. And that is, and you do that by shining. And which is interesting because we have that Sagittarius energy that came out earlier, and that's very Sagittarius. Also the Leo energy that came out, that Sagittarius-Leo combo is very attuned to the spotlight and meant for the spotlight. So you are somebody who I can see is meant for the spotlight, that may be in a creative capacity, but it, like, honestly also may be in a legal sense, since we've had Judgment and Justice come out in this reading. And it also may be in a healing sense, like whether you're like a doctor, like a tarot or like spiritual reader, or a psychologist or psychiatrist, like you're in school for that or something like that. So this reading is letting you know that if that's the path that you're on the right path, and that you did a really, really good job releasing this thing that was holding you back. So keep it up, and I hope I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.